Knicks finished the game tonight on a 14-6 run and beat the pesky Pacers 101-92. Mike Brown's postgame comments, as always, presented by Chase.
Good to get a win to end this road trip. Our guys played well. Anytime you can hold a team to the numbers that we held Indiana to, you did a pretty good job defensively. With your assignments. Our DPOG was Mitch. He had a monster of a game. The 12 points, 22 rebounds. It was really, really big game for him. But on the road, you have to take care of the basketball. In the first half, we did a nice job. I think we have 4 turnovers for 4 points, maybe in the first half, or 2 points. Second half, we got a little sloppy with it, but they weren't turnovers that hurt us, that fueled Indiana's break. And we also, when we turned it over, played with great next play speed. We got back and didn't give them many looks. And, we had the 8 turnovers in that half, but they only scored 2 points off of it, which was huge. And then the other thing that was huge was, we talk about trying to be physical and defend without fouling and lead with your chest, show your hands. And, they had 15 free throw attempts, 5 in the second half. And again, on the road, you got to take care of the ball. You can't send them to the free throw line. And I thought our guys were really good in that area. And that's why we won the ball game. We didn't shoot it well, obviously. We didn't shoot a ton of threes, but when you do those things and you play with a sense of urgency while making your opponents feel you without fouling, you got a good chance on the road, especially.
OG was aggressive in that fourth quarter. It seemed like, Brunson kind of got quiet after that. I mean, how big was OG's aggressiveness and that offense in that fourth quarter?
Yeah, OG was huge for us. I mean, his ability to attack the rim tonight was big time, especially with the force that he did to get the 9 free throws. He was a man on a mission, and he knocked his free throws down, but he also tried to make timely passes. He had 5 assists. This is one of our lower assist games because we didn't shoot the ball well. But having said that, OG with 5, Jalen with 9, and that was 14 of our 20 assists. So OG, again, attacked the rim. He got to the free throw line, but just as importantly, he set his teammates up too.
Oh, you mentioned Mitch was the defensive player of the game. Besides his impact, I think that was a season high minutes that he played, 31. How good is it, with the plan that you guys have had, that he can have, at this point in the season, late in the season, he's going up, this way in terms of his workload. That he can have that kind of big workload like he did tonight.
Yeah, it's huge. And I said this before, our doctors, our medical performance group, led by KC and Chico and Quentin, they put a nice plan together with Mitch and his group. And it's obviously shown that it's paid off because of his ability, knock on wood, to stay on the floor and play in games. And like you said, play the minutes he played tonight. And so I applaud those guys.
What do you like about some of the bench guys? Obviously no Josh, no Cat. Dahlia got some minutes. Clarkson again. What do you like about some of those bench guys that saw some action?
Yeah, they came down and held down the fort when we needed them to. And we played with, combinations, obviously, that we hadn't played with throughout the year, especially throwing a Pac out there. And, he only played 6.5 minutes, but they were real minutes. And, for a young guy that hadn't played, he did a nice job for us.
Just one last thing. I'm just looking ahead to the Warriors on Sunday. Last time, obviously, Draymond had that flagrant foul with Cat. When you know a guy is going to try to get under your player's skin, what approach do you want your players to kind of have to combat that, deal with it? When you know a guy is going to try to antagonize you and get under your skin, how do you want your players to approach that to combat it?
No, you just got to concentrate on what your job is. As simple as that. No matter who you play, you got to lock in on all of the small details. And like I said, in the second half, there was a stretch there where we kind of wandered out to left field, and it cost us. They made them run, but we can't allow anything to distract us from a player to fans to officials or anything like that. If we expect to be who we are, we'll be able to play through any noise that we come across throughout the course of the game.
One more second. The Bam game the other day, and then the your guys' game against the Thunder just kind of made you think. It feels like Jalen has like maybe a reputation around the league for foul baiting that's not really rooted in reality. I think I saw his 61-point game last year was the most without 10 free throws. I think he averages the most points like under a certain amount of free throws. Why do you think he has that reputation when it doesn't really match reality, I guess?
I don't know. There's a lot of people you have to ask, but obviously the numbers speak factually. They speak for themselves, and so we're not concerned about that. He's just got to keep being aggressive and being in that MVP race like we know he is.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
It's interesting. You watch Mike Brown work for the first year he's been the head coach of the Knicks. A philosophy of at times just throwing a young guy out there. Mm-hmm. We've seen Kevin McCullough get some run. Yep. We've seen Trey Jemison get some run. Mm-hmm. Mo Diawara gets consistent run. And tonight, out of nowhere, Hakim Daddier, coach, played only 6 minutes, but as a coach said, you're trying to develop these guys. It was an important 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think you get a hunch about, let me throw him out there. Maybe he's looked good in practice. Maybe, we saw him in garbage time in Denver. He got red hot and just started knocking down shots. So maybe it was this sense of, here's an opportunity with some injured players and not as deep a roster. Give this guy a chance and see what he can do. He knocked down a logo three early on. His defense still, it definitely needs to improve. He's got to learn how to play with a higher level of intensity, especially on defense. But Mike Brown is always willing to give a player an opportunity and see what he can do with it. It's really the McCullough story. That's one where I just threw him out there, put him on Trae Young and said, let's see how he does. And he ended up playing a great game. And Diawara was discovered basically the same thing. I just want to see what he would do out there. And he showed you that he doesn't, get nervous. He doesn't get rattled when you give him minutes. But the bench got outscored 35-15 in this game. Again, they are shorthanded. They were missing two key players, but you needed someone to step up. Clarkson, 8 points, quiet 8 points in 19. Alvarado didn't shoot the ball. That's kind of interesting, too, that he wasn't really that aggressive in this game. So bench didn't give you enough, but it was still enough to win the game.
And Diawara only 3 of 9 from the floor.
Yep.
All right, when we come back, we got the MSG 150. Got the Pistons in action. Showed you the highlights at a half, and we'll pay it off. See if the Pistons can win a game tonight. Stay with us. Back on the postgame show, 29 from Jalen Brunson, a career-high 22 rebounds from Mitchell Robinson. And the Knicks win tonight at the Pacers, 101-92. Here we go with the Audi MSG 150 final. The fastest 150 seconds in the National Basketball Association. Pistons lead the conference tonight, taking on Memphis. Jalen Duren had 30 and 13. Later on now, quarter number 3, Memphis turns it over. Pistons in transition. Cade Cunningham tips in the putback. Final seconds of the third quarter. Cunningham throws up a prayer. What do we have? What do we have? Did he get it off in time? No. Ball was still at his fingertips when the clock went to 0. Great try anyway. Cade tonight, 17 points and 15 assists. Pistons blow out Memphis 126-110. How about the Cavs at Dallas? Donovan Mitchell, second quarter, Euro step, and the floater. Next possession, uses the same move on Cooper Flagg. He had 29. James Harden to Evan Mobley. Nice pocket pass here. Mobley had 29 points. Great execution. Harden, 17 points. Hits the 3 here. And Cleveland now 24 and 10 in its last 34 as they win over Dallas 138-105. Phoenix and Toronto Raptors come in out of the top 6. And losers of 6 of the last 8. Scotty Barnes slams it down. Top. Toronto up 4, 46 seconds left. Jalen Green to the hoop. Scotty Barnes says, get it out of here. Back the other way. R.J. Barrett in transition will finish the playoff. He had 22. Toronto goes on a 27-10 run to end it, and they win 122-115. New Orleans tonight at Houston. Wrestling in Houston. Clutch, the mascot, is dropped, but Clutch goes off the top rope. He's going to bounce back, going off the top rope and victorious. Ahmed Thompson, big jam, two-handed. Houston now turns it over. Pelicans in transition. Trey Murphy, look out below. Third quarter, KD with the block. Leads to KD in transition, but in the final seconds right now, the Pelicans are up by 1 over the Rockets. Final seconds. That's your MSG 150 final presented by Audi. Knicks win tonight. Finish the road trip 3-2. Back from the corner 3. Back with Allen when we continue on our postgame show after this. And the Knicks win over the Pacers tonight. Jordan Clarkson had 8 points off the bench. Here he is in the locker room with Pat O'Keefe.
The guys closing the game out, making big shots. Mikal made a timely 3, and then just big stops at the end. I think, we just finished the job.
That was a big 3 by Mikal. It comes off one of many offensive rebounds by Mitch. 22 rebounds in this game. What can you say about his performance?
It's just big time. He's been doing that at a high level all year, especially defensively. Just doing things on that side, causing havoc. So it's a big game for him, and, we proud of him.
3-2 road trip overall, couple of bumps in Los Angeles, but you finished with 2 straight wins. How are you guys feeling heading back to New York?
We just ready to get home. Like you said, a long road trip. This last game of the road trip usually tough, so we came out with a win and executed, pulled it in, and we got a week and a half of games at home, so we'll be ready.
Schedule favorable for Jalen Brunson and company here in the near term. Brunson 29-9 tonight, and the Knicks win at the Pacers. Next game for the Knicks, they're home against the Warriors Sunday. That's on national TV. So our next Knicks game here on MSG against the Pacers again, but this time in New York. Tuesday night with the pregame at 7, game at 7:30. You stream our coverage as well on the Gotham Sports app. Up next here on MSG, it's Knicks Shorts. Knicks outscore the Pacers down the stretch 14-6 and win. Mitchell Robinson, a career high 22 rebounds. Mikal Bridges hit some key shots down the stretch as well. And the Knicks win it 101-92.